Howdy, 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 folks. How are you doing today? Okay, let's get down to it. Wet my whistle a little bit here. Yeah, so I just walked from the house down the driveway to the studio, and man, I tell you, that itself was trepidous enough just to not fall and break my arm. It's starting to rain out again, as they said it would, so even though it's going to be starting to melt here in Eugene, Oregon, probably tonight or tomorrow, it's we've already got like a thick, like 2-inch crust of ice over the whole town, it seems like, including my driveway. And now we're going to have one more layer added to that, it seems, before it all melts. So, but given thanks, there's things in life that you can that you have control over and things you don't. I'm giving thanks for both. The thing I did have control over was buying 9 or 10 bags of pellets to keep us warm, and also giving thanks to that which I did not have control over, which is that the power did not go out, which is how the pellet stove works. So I'm just really thankful that I've got a house, roof over my head, belly in my food, and power keeping us warm. So yeah, it's been a nice couple of... I do like these shutdown days, all the things being equal. Hope everybody else is safe and warm out there, just like I have been. But I do appreciate the silver lining in this sort of thing whenever society just kind of shuts down, that I get a chance to have an in-home work day. I'm not expecting any students today, so it's a good time to catch up on stuff. I'm getting a lot of work done on my curriculum and just organization in general, and some time here and there to play some tunes. So as I mentioned, today we're going to do something different. We're going to do the Circle of Fifths dice game, as I do with my students, like just little kids, where oh, here's where your C is, here where your G is. Well, once you learn F sharps and B flats and all those, you can roll 2 dice. You roll a 3. Ooh, what do you have to do? 3 is numbered, goes along with D on the Circle of Fifths, so they got to find a D. And then you roll a 7. Oh, 7 is G flat or F sharp, whatever you want to call it. You got to play that. And then you can do the same thing once you learn how to make a major chord or a blues scale. You can roll the 2 dice, and you got to figure out whatever you learned in that key, which is kind of cool with 2 dice, because you can't roll a 1, which is the key of C at the top, which is okay, because that's the easiest place to play, and that's where you're presented these things. And so what the dice do is they kind of randomize where you got to practice stuff. And also, 2 dice statistically skews towards 7, so you're kind of skewed towards the bottom of the circle, which, whether it's F sharp or D flat or B, it's kind of the places that, left to our own devices, we would tend to avoid anyways. So that's helpful. But in recent years, I found a set of 12-sided dice, this being one die of the set, that have all of the white and black keys there, whether it's there's A flat, G sharp. So it doesn't have that same skew towards 7, but hey, it's kind of fun. And I was also using these, as many of you might have remembered, as I wrote in the introduction here, that when lockdown was happening and I was so thick into playing all those classical pieces, it just so happened that there were 12 pieces that I had under my fingers and in my brain, and so I would roll the dice and see what the song of the day would be, whether it's the Raindrop Prelude or Maple Leaf Rag. So I'm going to do that today, just to mix things up and keep it fresh. I've really been enjoying just going through the album from first track to last track, just to kind of get a sense of the flow, which I really do like. I like the track order, but just, to avoid getting into a rut, and also kind of to mix it up for myself, just to be able to play these songs out of context with each other, we're going to do the dice game for Sunny Inside of the Rain. So what we're going to do here first, we're going to decide what the first song is by rolling the dice. And what did I get? I got a D. Okay, so D goes over. Let's go over the circle of fifths. D is number 3. Okay, we're going to start with Better Days. Okay, I'm going to do 2 things before I look up, before I play that for you. First of all, I'm going to make sure Facebook and Twitter are working here. Okay, it looks like I am. Okay, looks like I am. Now that's interesting. Why? Oh, because I was like, why is it still on there? It's because I didn't switch it back here yet. Okay, and also, let me do this. I'm going to go to my Google Drive here and see if I can't find Better Days. Because this is actually the one song that really doesn't quite... It doesn't really do it quite justice to do the unplugged version. It's... Let's see if this is the demo here. Come on, demo. Okay, I'm going to copy the link here. Yeah! Okay, this is like... I love this demo. This is just like a drum loop and a guitar loop, and then the words kind of fell into place, and I recorded it. But this was one of those things where I was so happy that I had the studio set up for just plug and play, because I had this really nice electric piano patch, and it's one of those things where sometimes you get inspired and something comes out of your fingers that you'll never reproduce again. And what I ended up with, I think on this demo, even though when I get around to recording it with real drums and real stuff, real vocals, etc., I'm going to keep the guitar solos and the piano solos on this because I'm really, really happy with them. So check it out. I'm pretty psyched about that demo whenever I listen to it. And let me check one more thing. I've got Facebook monitor and Twitter monitor. I think I got Instagram working today. There was one little thing that I didn't quite have clicked these last few times, and but now I do. So I'm going to go over to YouTube and make sure that's coming through, and it looks like it is. So we'll turn that off so I don't have to hear it. And here we go, folks. You can check out the rock and demo version of this at your leisure, but for now, this is the unplugged version of Better Days. Do you know what I mean when you're waking from a dream, like a change of the scene when you want to stay? Would you call it a crime if I could keep it in my mind like my own sunshine when the world's gone gray? Well, I'm telling you true, it's all I can do to make it through my own passion play. I got my head held high, I'm reaching for the sky, but I don't know why it seems far away. Everybody knows, nobody wants to say. I suppose the river flows to where it goes. I'm not the kind to count my woes, but Lord knows I've seen better days. When I'm at my best, I can never get a rest from the test unless I'm feeding my flame. Stand tall, but I dropped it all when they were coming to call about who's to blame. If I stand my ground, the word get around across the town. I'm not playing that game. So it's no surprise, I can see it in your eyes when they're shouting out lies that you hear the same. Well, everybody knows, Suppose the river flows to where it goes. I'm not the kind to count my woes, but Lord knows I see it better days. So long I've been singing my song so often, strong with the wrong refrain. I'm hiding out inside, I tried and tried to puff up my pride to patch up the pain. And now the sun's gone low and old Joe Crow's there to show what's in your name. So I shake my head, laughing off instead, and it's back to my bed from whence I came. Everybody knows, nobody wants to say. Suppose the river flows to where it goes. I'm not the kind to count my woes, but Lord knows I've seen better days. I've seen better days. Right, and that one usually goes straight into Shiloh. But we're not doing the album in order today. It's just nice that it slows down and ends with that open D chord. Yeah, Shiloh. Another good thing about this is usually when I'm done pounding that one, it's out of tune, so I usually have to tune up for Shiloh, but I don't like to because I like to go straight in there. It's such a perfect segue. But we're not doing that today. Let's roll another song. And check out that demo. I think you guys will like that song a lot more when you hear the rockin' version. Okay, next song will be whatever's in the key of. It's an E or a B. That looks like an E to me. So E is number 5 on the circle of fifths. Dun, 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 as you'll see. Oh, Cult of the News. Yeah, my pissy punk song album. My pissy punk song that I'm allowing myself for each album from here on out. Just because, it's not all butterflies and unicorns out there. So, gotta get it out somehow, and this one is me getting it out. Based on a true story, as it were. Here it is, Cult of the News. 1, 2. We were remarking on music and all the people we knew around the town and all of the... We were remarking on music and all the people we knew around the town and all of the music and things that we do. And then I saw it coming at me like a change of the face. That wide-eyed awareness, that beautiful place. You asked me if I had seen it the latest morning op-ed, as if I gave half a shit about all the shit that you read. I think I'll be a hermit. It'll save me some blues. Now there's no escaping from the cult of the news. Welcome to the cult of the news. Give you all the sound bites you can choose, and if there's one line item that you don't concur, how dare you demur? We were enjoying a dinner and conversation with friends. I caught the all familiar glimmer with when it begins. Initial tremors that give us a little time to prepare. My autopilot smile so as to not be betrayed by my stupefied stare. What else is there I can do now in response to the joke that is assuming a priori that I'm one of the folk who pay attention to the clickbait dopamine game? To me, the politician you mentioned is just another name. Another devil in the cult of the news. Just another soundbite that you can choose. And if there's one line item that you don't concur, how dare you demur? Saturday morning, I'm enjoying hanging out with my crew. Still, it's stimulating and engaging in everything that we do. I guess I come to expect it now with little surprise. It's casual reference headlines and I'm rolling my eyes. This is the second time I've left a hedge of bond. Religion, the congregation's just as puzzled now as they were back then. They got me cornered and I've got to fight with my own fire. Although there's so many other items that I would choose to aspire. Welcome to the cult of the news. I'll give you all the sound bites you can't choose. And if there's one line item that you don't concur, how dare you demur? Welcome to the cult of the mob. We'll throw you in the limelight because that's our job. You can bet your last damn dollar that we won't forget the way that you split. Cult of the News at breakneck at breakneck punk speed, as it were. Probably won't record it that quick for the album, but it felt kind of good. It's just kind of hard to do the solo at that speed. But hey, that's what we're here to have fun and mix it up today because it's Dice Game for Scotty's new Bella Steel album coming up, Sunny Inside of the Rain. I'll try to keep track of which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. The next song that we're going to do today is whatever's at the key of A flat. Let's go to our circle. A flat is number 9. Oh, this is the spoken word. This is kind of a weird one, but I like this poem. It's called Ivanhoe and X and Q, and it goes like this. Ivanhoe and X and Q mix in me and wax in you. A lack of links, a fix to do from MKCOB to Q. The message isn't hard to make, a little dash of truth to take, a bigger batch of fake to bake, an epic bite of angel cake. Connect the dots and paint the set. What you see is what you get, but what I said to them I met was made of words that all got wet. Now, whether from the wool of eyes, or better, set on bad disguise, I figured from the tower of lies I might behold a new surprise. But fresh ideas are far behind, a symptom of a withered mind. I'm out of luck and fail to find a single gram of grain to grind. It's funny, not that albums are a thing anymore, which is too bad, really, because, that wonderful effect where it's like the one song ends and you know just exactly what's coming next. I always think of Back in Black, because one thing, with the way they produced that album, did you ever notice how one song ends and then boom, the next song's right there? I remember I went in for one of the Sugar Beats albums. I was in charge of the mastering. and it was just me and the mastering guy, you know, deciding like what it's gonna actually sound like on the CD. And I didn't really have to make any decisions about like the EQ and the compression or anything, because that's what we were paying this guy for. But I had to make the decisions about how long it took to go from this track to that track. And you know what? That's not as easy as you think. There's a psychological difference that it makes between boom, boom, one song right to the next, and just a second or a second and a half pause. So, anyways, long story short, you know, I've gotten so used to the flow of this album that I finish that song and I immediately feel the song, or in that case, the poem, I immediately feel Freeze Me coming up right after that. But, you know, that's why it's good to break out of the mold and do these all in randomized order today. Okay, we've done 3 of them. Now we got, B flat. What's it? B flat. That's up on the other side of the circle here. Number 11. Oh, wait. Ivanhoe and X&Q does not go into In the Year of 42 Freeze Me. It goes into Emotional Cancer, which then goes into Freeze Me. So I was wrong there. Okay, but anyways, yeah, now we do go to number 11, which is In the Year of 42, parentheses, Freeze Me, which, let's go to, okay, there we go. Are you sure on exit? No. Oops, I almost accidentally exited. Let's go back here. That's what we want to do. This is my favorite song on the album, I think. It's weird. It's science fiction-y. I didn't plan on it being a sequel to one of my favorite songs, but it just naturally kind of came out that way. And I really, really I love that riff. I just actually put this riff up on, I just made it on Finale so you could see what it looks like in piano music and tablature. And I'm actually going to devise a lesson around this one. It's kind of cool. It goes pluck, hammer, pluck, but then when you start doing this pedal tone in the bass, it's kind of cool because you pluck this finger and then you pluck the thumb while you hammer the other finger, the other string. It's like this. And that happens on the next string too. It's one of my favorite little acoustic riffs I've come up with. I keep telling myself I mean to cut my fingernails. Still haven't yet for a while. That's not too bad, but just even a little bit of fingernail makes that riff a lot harder. Anyways, enough about that. Let's play the song. This is In the Year of 42, parentheses, Freeze Me. It goes like this. Actually, without that firmer. Can you hear me crying across the waves of space and time? I can hear you call my name. I decided I could slow ride the times you left behind. Better than the pain under the shining lights tries I might. I'm still trembling in my mind, and they're saying it's okay. I paid the sky-high price inside my life, beside the second line. Now I'm on my way. You can hear me say, please, please, cry gently, freeze me, please. I'm in a tangle that I can't tease, and I just wanna go to bed. Freeze me with all the best technology, maybe even a century. There's too much tied in my head. wait for you. Oh, the red light did deny my credit once, and then a second time. On my last backup credit ring, I had no choice but to choose to sign beside yet another fucking dotted line. It started flashing green under the shining. Oh, no. Now the spotlight's back in my eyes. They shine so brightly that the light, it makes me blind. Now it's all faded to gray and away. And the last bit of it I hear is, what's my name? And though I try, I can't reply. But I know one thing, and you can hear them sing, please, please, cryogenically freeze me, please. I'm in a tangle that I can't tease, and I just wanna go to bed. Freeze me with all the best technology, maybe even a century. There's too much tied in my head. I still don't wanna be dead. I just wanna go to bed and wait for you. I woke up in a dream, and you're my queen in a golden palace of delight. And every day you like to play, but I just can't seem to shake the subtle shade of something's not quite right. It's hard to say. When I told you this, I saw your eyes, and just then I realized somehow you weren't really you. And always then it starts to spin to some vague fading flashing light in a white lit room, and that same old tune. Cryogenically freeze me, please. I'm in a tangle that I can't tease, and I just wanna go to bed. Freeze me with all the best technology, maybe even a century. There's too much tied in my head. I still don't wanna be dead. I just wanna go to bed and wait for you. For you. For you. Wait for you. Alright, in the year of 42. Freeze me. Not quite based on a true story, but we'll see. Alright, we haven't had any repeats yet. We'll end up having a repeat probably here pretty soon, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. What's next? Ooh, still not another Repeat. We rolled a G, and G is number 2 on the circle of fifths, which is the second track of the album, which is the title track of the album, which is called Sunny Inside of the Rain. It goes like this. I rarely get the notion to do anything but play my guitar. And though I traveled across the ocean, I don't think I ever got this far. Now they're looking at me funny like I'm the one who's insane, but I'm the one that's laughing in the back of my brain while the world's crying out in pain. I'm feeling sunny inside of the rain. Yeah. I never got the feeling that I'd ever want to do this again. But if I had the opportunity, then baby, I'd invite you in. Now it's a couple for the money and a few for the show. I'm packing up my saddles and I'm ready to go. Tell my mama I'm hopping on a train. I'm feeling sunny inside of the rain. Oh, come on, sunshine. I'm looking out my window at the freaking Chicken Littles outside. I'm picking out the tickets for the winners in the house where I hide. Now I'm going a mile a minute, but I'm holding it in. I got nothing left to show you but a wink and a grin, and I told you all the name of my game. I'm feeling sunny inside of the rain. 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 And I just want to go right into the better days because of that whole album effect. Okay, gosh, we've done 5 and no repeats yet. I'm jinxing myself. Probably have a repeat here. Oh, D flat. Have we done D flat yet? D flat, which is number 8. Oh, no, we haven't. Oh, I like this song. This is More Than a Dream. As I was saying last time, this is one that it was just in my gold mine of rubble that I tell my students, just like my professor told me, don't ever get rid of any of your old unfinished stuff because you never know when you'll stumble upon it. Like a gold mine, most of it's a bunch of crap and rubble, and get it out of the way. But every once in a while, there's that nugget. And I found this nugget when I was taking chords apart. It took me all night just to take the chords apart in the studio. And it was getting so tedious. I'm like, well, I might as well start listening to some of my unlabeled, unfinished stuff, and this thing was there, and over the course of the week, the lyrics just kind of found themselves, which is always a joy, because that's always the hardest part for me, is lyrics, traditionally. And yeah, this is actually one of them that I'll probably start playing at the open mics. This is called More Than a Dream. Da 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 da. It's fun to find gold in the last place expected. I wonder how much it was planned. I wonder how much it was worth from the back of the band. I tried to find reasons, I tried to find rhymes, I tried to make some kind of sense, but nobody knows if there's anything happening hence. Is it more than a dream or a breezy horizon that follows the flow of a scheme? Would you know for a fact, would you scream that you're right like a child that knows what they mean? Did you ever step back and take stock of the items and try to take one for the team? exactly what's causing the time, but I'm hoping it's more than a dream. It's odd to look back on the course of your life now, reflecting on lovers and friends. It's hard to believe there's a time when it actually ends. I tried to fight back at the tunnel of time, but the tunnel of time always wins. And all that I ask is a moment to make my amends. My eyes have grown older, and for now a good while I've known that it's time to come clean. My wrinkles are stretched to the wreck of a smile I was loaned from the young 17. Deeper than that, there's a poor child crying for lies of an earlier scene. But the walls are all cold and there's no one outside who can show me it's more than a dream. I don't mean to paint such a sad panorama as everything melts in a blur, along with the unfinished songs, and I'll always miss Fur. There's nothing to do but to keep keeping on and make best of the winters to come. I'd be happy to hack out just half of what's left to be done. Is it more than a dream or a breezy horizon that follows the flow of a scheme? Would you know for a fact, would you scream that you're right like a child that knows what they mean? Did you ever step back and take stock of the items and try to take one for the team? I can't tell exactly what's causing the time, but I'm hoping it's more than a dream. I smell the smoke from the feast on the fire, so pass me the leg of the lamb. From here's to a life, I'll achieve my desire to ride it the best that I can. Give me some hope to believe there's a reason, whatever that reason might mean. The time has arrived to catch up the next season of maybe it's more than a dream. More than a dream. All right, that's about halfway through everything without a repeat, which is kind of cool. Let's go and check in with folks, see what's going on, if I've where is that? Interesting. It should be going to my Google windows, but it's not. Did I accidentally close all my Google windows? Oh, did I? Or is it just locked up for some reason? Well, let's go see who's out there right now on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. I will go and check back and see if Instagram is working. Hi, Instagram people, if you're out there. Okay. Yeah, all right, there we go. Yeah, what should we do next? Well, that's not up for me to decide. That's up for the dice to decide. Well. Okay, let's see what we're going to do next here. Rolling the dice, and we get a D. Okay, yeah, not surprisingly, we already did D. A, we did not do A, which is number 4 on the circle. And number 4, oh, Shiloh, great. Okay, this is one this is the only one I didn't write the words to. This was actually a poem written by Herman Melville, who wrote Moby Dick, and also wrote a cycle of poems about the Civil War that I never even knew existed until I was listening to the end of that episode of Peter Jackson's, his name's Peter Jackson? Greg Jackson. Jeez, I was thinking Lord of the Rings. Greg Jackson, professor from Utah, Golden State University, I believe, has one of the best podcasts you could ever listen to. In fact, I might even put that in the links when I'm done here. History that doesn't suck. If you like history at all, if I would have had this available when I was a kid, I would have known so much more about American history growing up, and in such a wonderful way, telling it as a story with characters who are, there's no such thing as a complete hero and a complete villain, in real life, kind of. And that's what's kind of cool about the way he tells it. He just tells it about the people involved, real people with all of their traits, all their flaws, all of their glories, all usually sort of mixed up together to different balances and degrees. Anyways, yeah, this one was a pretty heavy episode about Shiloh. The first battle of the Civil War, it was I think it was pretty close to Washington, D.C., and people brought out their picnic baskets, and you were going to kind of see this, quaint little thing go down that was just going to blow over probably, and yeah, next thing you know, Shiloh happened, and more casualties in that single battle around this church in somewhere in Appalachia. I think I should know where this is. I think Shiloh. Yeah, anyways, I should look that up. I still don't know exactly where it is on the map, but this one battle had more casualties than the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, and the Mexican-American War all put together. It was insane. It was horrible, and Greg Jackson ended this episode with reading this poem, and I was blown away. I had no idea that this existed, and I'm like, I gotta memorize that poem, because I was all into memorizing stuff at the time. I was learning. That was right when I was in the thick of learning Richard III, which I'm still practicing. Cool. It's really fun, actually. I won't go into Shakespeare land right now, but that's another thing that's been pretty big in my life, along with Mandarin and music. It's Shakespeare. So anyways, I'm learning this Shakespeare. I'm jogging for 2 or 3 hours at a time and memorizing lines. I'm like, geez, I can memorize this poem in a heartbeat. And as soon as I started trying to memorize this poem, I keep saying this, but it really was that thing, like you're chopping away at the block and the sculpture is already in there just waiting to be revealed. There was a melody there just waiting to be found all these, 150 years later or so. And it just it's actually one of my last really cool memories with my dad. I was sitting there typing it up on Finale and just kind of finishing it at the same time while we were on the couch at his place watching the football game. And nobody knew what I was doing, but I was just kind of like in awe, like, oh my God, this is falling into place. Like, like it rarely happens with songwriting. Sometimes, like Carnival of Faces, I'll get, which was inspired by another Greg Jackson episode, and and I was in the shower, I got this idea, came out, and next thing, 3 hours later, I've got the sheet music, as opposed to some songs which literally took 20 years to finish. Not kidding. This one was pretty quick, and it's really cool when all of that falls into place like that, because it's, again, it's that whole thing I was talking about at the beginning where there's things in your control and things that aren't in your control, and that really happens in songwriting. It's rare that you just sit down with a blank piece of paper and it's like, I'm going to write a profound song now. It's more like you just got to be ready for it to happen. Let the experience just unfold, and sometimes a line or a lyric or a melody will just pop into your head based on what you're musing about at any given moment, not planning on writing a song. Well, boom, when it knocks on your door, you better get up and answer, or it's going to go next door, as some blues guy famously said. And then then the ball's in your court. If you're just are you ready to write it down? Are you ready to record that idea on the voice note? You got your guitar at hand? Are you going to do the work to just kind of usher it to existence? I didn't mean to go off and on about songwriting aesthetics. I've been doing a lot of that lately with my students. I've been teaching piano, guitar, bass, drums, singing, Ableton, everything, but I've been doing a lot more songwriting mentorship. And there's no textbook, there's no recipe, there's just experience. There's things that kind of work and things that are a little bit problematic, but then there's that whole thing where you learn the conventions just so that you can break them gracefully and then be really fresh. And it's hard to write a book about, but it's actually getting kind of easy to just, I've got enough experience under my belt to help people along the way. And what do you know, just by mentoring all these kids with their own songwriting, it's only made it more consolidated for my own needs. So anyways, blah, 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 blah. This is the words by Herman Melville, Shiloh, a Requiem, April 1862. Music by me, words by Herman Melville. It goes like this. Skimming lightly, wheeling still, the swallows fly low, over the field in cloudy days, the forest field of Shiloh, over the field where April rain solaced the parched one stretched in pain. Through the pause of night, that followed the Sunday fight, around the church at Shiloh, the church so low, the log-built one that echoed to many a parting groan and natural prayer. Dying foemen mingled there, foemen at morn, but friends at eve. Fame or country least their care, what like a bullet can undeceive. But now they lie low, while over them the the swallows skim, and all is hushed at Shiloh. Now that's cool. I was just teaching. I have a nightly WeChat with my friend in Guilin, Jade, who's also on Facebook. Hey, Jade, if you're seeing this. And I taught her the word synchronicity the other day. And synchronicity just, I mean, it happens. You can get all mystical about it, or you can just be kind of like, well, it's for everything you notice that lines up, there's a billion things that don't. But you know what? I just finished that. Silence is Shiloh. And right then, the fan went out and had complete silence, which was so cool, the timing of that. And then the fan and the speaker there started up right now. But anyways, I'll have to listen back to that, see if you can hear that, the fan turning off right at that moment. Okay, we got like 5 more. Rolling the dice. The die. Oh, we get C at the top. What's at the top? C, number 1, and number 1 is the opening song to the album called A Western Way. It goes like this. I've lived in the city, I've done my time, either paid my dues, left it behind for some of the fools to pick up when they find I'm gone. Now it's back to my roots that I knew as a child, from the thick sticks to the heart of the wild, and I'm kicking in my boots and smiling at a fawn going by. Give me a home where the bison like to play. I'll be roaming alone day after day, where the sun hangs low in a western way. I remember the days before I had a clue, had a whole long list of the things I would do. It's a pity how much I wasted my youth on dreams. Now it's goodbye, friends, I'm back to the land. This is not what I thought, but I got what I planned. If you all had to ask, you don't understand what it means. Give me a home where the bison like to play. I'll be roaming alone day after day, where the sun hangs low in a western way. Horn section. Track to Bella Steele's new album, Sunny Inside of the Rain. That's Western Way. Give us a call. Tell us what you want to hear. First caller wins an album. There's a whole story there. How I won one of my most influential albums ever, Night at the Opera by Queen. I won it. It's a long story. I won't get into it, but I won it off the radio station. Oh, what did I just roll? F sharp. Number 7, which is Carnival of Faces. Yeah, I listened to another one of those History That Doesn't Suck podcasts, and a lot of things converged in me at once. Lockdown, losing me for just a lot of loss during lockdown, kind of all ganged up on me all at once. It kind of triggered by this pretty somber episode of History That Doesn't Suck. And took a shower, and like it happens so often, a song found me, and boom, rarely had it gone from song to sheet music in such short of time. It was so wonderful to feel that. Anyways, I have a nice video of this song that I already recorded. I'll try to remember to put that in the links here. This is called Carnival of Faces. It goes like this. I don't know if I can take it. It's coming up again. All the memories of places and long forgotten friends I used to know. Where did it go? Do they think of me now and then? A carnival of faces looking out again. I don't know if I can make it. It's all too much to bear. Every day I try to fake it, bury it somewhere. A part of the show kept low, but not so far away. A carnival of faces. You see me every day. The massacres and mayhem are flying through my head. They'll be with me for always until the day I'm dead. Wherever I go, they follow. So every night my eyes are red. And the carnival of faces, they're with me in my bed. 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 A carnival of faces. All right, what one you haven't done yet? There's only one. Actually, there's only three that haven't happened yet. Let's see if we roll one of them. Nope, that's another D. 3 Ds. And have we done F sharp? Yeah, that's what we just did, actually. A flat we did. D we did. We're looking for either a B or an F or an E flat. B, E flat. Oh, there's a B. Okay, so B is number 6 on the circle. And that's interesting because that's the one that goes right into... There's 2 segues on the album. There's Better Day, straight into Shiloh, that works really well. And then this song into the song I just did, Heaven Knows I Cared, which is kind of the quintessential example of what I'm calling... Most of these, not all of them, are kind of my lockdown songs. It took me 30 years to make my first album. It took me 3 years to write the next one. And yeah, a lot of it was just all that time for reflection, but also, just not just the content that was kind of finding me, but just the mechanics. There are certain mechanics of songwriting that, like I said, they're not rules. They're just things that kind of work. I like to call them conventions more than rules, because there's reasons why they work, but every rule is made to be broken. And once you learn, you can tell when somebody's just hacking, but you can also tell when people are bending the rules gracefully because they've learned that you got to learn about the box to get to know when you're outside of it. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, this is one of my lockdown songs that really just kind of found me one evening. And yeah, this is a bit of a personal reflection called Heaven Knows I Cared. Heaven Knows I Cared, yeah. Sitting in the back room on a bar stool with a memory on my mind, thinking how the best of us must someday reach the end of each our line. A year ago I never thought you'd be the one I'd have to tell goodbye. Fare you well, our dear departed friend, for you I'll always cry. All the streets are down without a sound, and everybody tucked inside. Maybe I'll sneak out among the ashes of the fireworks they fly. 2021 is finding everyone expectant on its eve. January 7th is the day on this, and every year I'll grieve. Kinda gives you pause without a cause, other than just the way it is. Then you shake it off, politely cough, and then go on about your biz. With more increasing frequency I reminisce on this and everything. But even with the pain I can't complain about the life I get to sing. I stand before you even though you know my show's been over long. All that I would ask is you'd be soft in your assessment of my song. I'm standing on the shoulders of the likes of Neil Peart and Eric Blair. Even though nobody's ever heard about me, heaven knows I care. Heaven knows I care. Heaven knows I care. Heaven knows I cared. All right. Feels... well, it's different to finish that one, because usually that C chord that it ends on goes straight into Carnival of Faces. Okay, 2 more. We're looking for, let's see, a F for number 12 and an E flat for number 10. F! Well, there you go. We haven't had too many repeats. That's incredible. Okay, so this is the one that's not on the album. This is the one that just kind of rounds it out. So 11 tracks on the album, and this number 12 I've got with the sort of double single, the one song, a really new one that goes into a really old one that got finished about the same time. Yeah, this is the bonus. Standalone double single, as it were, kind of like We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions sort of thing. There's another one I'm thinking of that was kind of like that, but maybe I'm thinking one of those Beatles songs that kind of goes in and out of one to the other. But anyways, enough of that. Let's go and play Never Been a Better Time into Baby's Got a Big Gun. Never been a better time to keep your head down. Never been a better time to not make a sound. Never been a better time to stay at home. Never been a better time to be alone. Never been a better time. Never been a better time to keep your voice low. Never been a better time to put on a show. Never been a better time to swallow your pride. Never been a better time to hide. Time to play at pretending. Never been a better time for blending in. Never been a better time to hack bad art. Never been a better time to fake apart. Never been a better time to keep your cards closer. Never been a better time to talk in code. Never been a better time to take the side road. Never been a better time to lock and load. This is my life inside a culture revolution. This is the story of my time. I thought I'd live to see a tiny bit more evolution, but now the new guard's up online. Inside a cultural revolution. This is the story of my time. I always fancied myself a small part of the solution, but now those daydreams are dying. Never been a better time to keep your head down. Never been a better time to not make a sound. Never been a better time to stay at home. Never been a better time to be alone. Never been a better time to keep your voice low. Never been a better time to put on a show. Never been a better time to swallow your pride. Never been a better time to hide. This is my life inside a cultural revolution. This is the story of my time. I thought I'd live to see a tiny bit more evolution, but now the new guard's up online. My mind is crying for a whole entire generation. I see the sadness in their eye. It's like I'm living in some odd, surreal situation. Now the new guards, no, an aberration. Welcome to the land of love. This is my life inside a cultural revolution. This is the story of my time. I always thought I'd live to see some tiny bit more evolution, but now the new guard's up online. My mind is crying for a whole entire It's like I'm living in some odd surreal aberration. Welcome to the land of life. Baby's got a big gun, and the rest of the world's all wondering what we're gonna have to do. Baby's got a big gun, and I hate to be all Debbie Downer, but you know it's true. Rivers of the red run, I know the times and don't know what else I can say. Rivers of the red run, try as I like, try as I might, I like, but I can't walk away. You can go where you go, try but you can't hide. When the walls come down, you wish you kept your secrets inside. You can go where you go, try but you can't hide. When the walls come down, when the walls come down, you wish you kept your secrets inside. Dreamers in a dead time. In the morning beside my fire I say your name. Dreamers in a dead time. At the moment you chose bye-bye, you know I'm not the same. Riggers of the swing line, talk of the town, come round, just a single friend. Riggers, swingers on the rig line, leaving behind the bite of such a bitter wind. You can go where you go, you can try but you can't hide. When the walls come down, you wish you kept your secrets inside. Go, 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 fly, fly, fly. Yeah, that's the newest one on the whole set. Ooh, a little rough there. Still getting those lyrics in me. But that's what we're here for. This is rehearsal time as much as it is kind of performance time, and kind of like doing that transition from playing them all by myself to getting ready to take some of these out. Speaking of which, I do have a Google form that now that I can engage with folks out there in comment land better than I could before. I'm going to start sharing some more links in the comments of these little offerings from time to time, and one of them I have a link to a Google form that has all 12 of these songs, and I'm just curious, like, if you had to choose 3 to 5 of them that you think are ready, or I don't know, your favorites that you'd want to hear if you went to an open mic and I was there playing these. So yeah, it's good feedback. It's part of the workshopping of this album, is to kind of see what's working, what needs tweaking. And yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be able to record these before anytime before much before 2025 if I'm lucky. But hey, in the meantime, I'm getting all this other shit done. Yeah, by the time I do get around to that, I'm gonna know I'm way better than if I didn't just kind of nominally check in with them. Just kind of like my Mandarin and my Shakespeare, Not going to China anytime before 2025, and I'm not going to be producing Richard III anytime before 2025. But you know what? Better to have your base ready to go by the time you do get around to focusing on that stuff. Meantime, I've got a house to finish, a mom to take care of, and kids to teach. I might have a lesson here in 20 minutes. I haven't heard from these folks yet, and I'm just expecting that nobody's out and about today, because it really is like sheet ice out there. Like I said at the beginning, it's hard enough it's treacherous enough just to walk down the driveway from the house. But hey, I made it. No broken arms yet. Knock, knock, knock. Okay, I don't need to roll this because we only have one left to do. This is the most somber of all of the songs on here, but I love it. It's a good song, and yeah, this album is, I shouldn't call it warts and all, but yeah, it is really just the sum of my experience for the last 3 years, and this is me. If nothing else, what's that song, that Rush song? Yes, it was for me, not you. I came to write this song on, the song that Neil Peart wrote on their not their second album, but it was their second album, but the first one that he was on and writing lyrics for. And that line always sounded kind of weird and selfish to me. But you know what? I spent way too much of my life trying to write songs to impress other people or to be this or that. And you know what? I've been telling this to my students that I know it sounds cliche, but after like decades of futilely trying to find my voice as an artiste with something to say, what a bunch of shit. I didn't plan this, but it just found me the moment that I had kind of given up and just be like, what a stupid notion to find your voice. Don't try to find your voice. Just start writing songs and making art and writing stories and, do it for you. That's what it's for. It really is. That is not a selfish thing. If you're writing for other people, unless you're hired to okay, we need to write a song about this or that, Schoolhouse Rock or Imagine That, that's one thing. But when you're doing your own thing, I don't know. You can try to impress other people, but it never worked for me. Put it that way. So, yeah, this last song that I'll be playing for you today is number 10 on the album. This is the second to the penultimate, there's a word for it, a fancy music school term that means second to last, or the one before the last. The penultimate song on my album is called Emotional Cancer, and it goes like this. I have a case of emotional cancer from the smog of your second-hand news. You can call me a freak. You can call me a cheek. You can call me whatever you choose. I'm not going to change your religion. That first attempt ended in tears. So I'll go on my way with nothing to say as I live out the rest of my years. Fine, as I live out the rest of my years. It's the worst I was ever gaslighted. As you screamed, I was gaslighting you for the sinister crime of squeaking my mind as I struggled to sift what was true. Are you still so entrenched in your wisdom, so intractably trapped in your ways? My original gift turned into a rift, and it led to the end of our days. Fine, and it led to the end of our days. Was that me, or did the lights just flash there? And then that fan went out right at the moment the guitar died down too. Yeah, that's emotional cancer, and now we've officially gone through all 12 songs in the dice game. Randomization of the tracks of my next album. That was a little bit of a somber note to end on, so we'll pep things up to leave you with. It's kind of like I saw John Williams conduct the Eugene Symphony, which was a total treat. We had like the front row and the mezzanine balcony, and seeing like a legend, again, the guy that probably I feel is the preeminent classical composer of my era. And we got to hear, I don't think we heard Jaws, but we heard Superman, we heard E.T., I think we heard Harry Potter, we heard Star Wars, of course. And at one point there was this woman, I think she was either Korean or Chinese. I'm not sure, but wow, I had never, ever heard violin tone like that. So, two things that happened that night that never happen at a classical performance where you go in and there's the program and they play the songs and you leave. There was an encore. Yeah, you don't get encores at classical symphonies unless you go see John Williams. He brought that same violinist out and played a very austere theme to Schindler's List, which was like, whoa. And of course, he couldn't send us off with that. So double encore. He goes right into ba-da-da-da. And, second thing that never happens is you don't hear people going, woo, right when a song starts at a classical symphony. And yeah, the guy right next to me whooped when they busted segue Schindler List. You can go see the track list, the set list of John Williams conducting Eugene. And it's like double encore. Schindler's List into Raiders of the Lost Ark. Never forget that. Anyway, so I'm going to leave you with a little one that's a little bit more upbeat. This is my favorite song on my previous Bella Steel album, Sleeping Dragons. The only one that I didn't sing and didn't play bass on. My dear friend Stella plays the bass, and my dear friend Emily sings. They're both former students of mine, now teachers and professional musicians in their own right, just doing amazing stuff. So yeah, listen to that. Maybe I'll put that in the comments too. This is track number 4, my favorite song on the album, called I'm Just Waiting for the Wheel to Come Round. Good example of one that started 20 years before I finished it. It goes like this. I'd fall asleep at the wheel, but there's a sidetrack ratchet of road. It's too much to fill to the feel upside a heart's hard labor and load. I tell you the tale of the way it all unwound, but I'm just waiting for the wheel to come round. I left my life on the rails and now I'm watching all the train wrecks roll. I got no more wind in my sails for chasing rabbits down the rabbit hole. Suffering shame in a crazy little town. And I'm just waiting for the wheel to come round. Who's that lonely boy standing outside our cackle? All the cuckoos cried. Got some tack to be handing out all them facts about the other side. What can I say? I'm just sharing what I found. I'm just waiting for the wheel to come round. Come on. difficulty, but the crowd's all sauce. What can I play now that no one hears a sound? I hang my head and I'm hiding underground. With the price of 30-odd years, it was the quintessential college try. Step back from the buds and the beers and don't know whether I should laugh or cry. A shackle of flames come flashing in my crown, crown, crown. I know my place and my heart begins to pound. I can't tell you where some of this is bound, bound, bound. A whole new chapter for every clue I found. And the summer's fading, the leaves are turning brown, brown, brown. I hear that highway is howling like a hound. But the wind blows gently, whispering a soft, sobering sound. And I'm just waiting for the wheel to come round. And I'm just waiting for the next time that I will do the circle of fifths wheel for y'all. That was a good exercise for me because, you know, as I'm getting into the rut of playing one song into the next, well, it does become somewhat of a rut and almost a trap to rely on. So this was good for me to break out of the shell, break out of the box, and kind of treat these songs as standalones that were going to find me unexpectedly. And yeah, there were some rough patches tonight, not terribly rough, but some little bit of brain fart here and there. I promise I will clip my nails because, you know, they're not that, like I said, they're not super long, but it does make a difference. Those nails can get in your way. So next time I will be ready for some more spontaneity. Well, I like the way that the songs came out today with my little 12-sided music die and the circle of fifths in conjunction. So it's a good way for me to mix it up for myself. Hopefully a good way for mixing it up for you guys. Hopefully you're not getting too bored with the same songs in the same order over and over. But like I said, I'm doing this just to get me some experience with playing these songs with people actually paying attention, whether or not it's a couple of you out there in real time or folks going through the posts in retrospect, because that's kind of a nice thing about OBS, is that it sends it all out there and I can always go back on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitter and find the archives. So you can too. Anyways, I'm going to maybe be teaching here in 2 minutes, so I'm going to sign off and get ready for that. Love you guys. Stay warm, stay safe, and give me any comments you want in the feedback. Ciao.